Well, you look so beautiful right now. I can't stand it. Love it.
Good day, good day. It's mizChartreuse, the AstroFLOTUS, and I am joined today by my astro twin, Colin Bedell of Queer Cosmos.
Hi.
Cheers.
Cheers. Here's my tea.
What are you sipping on? You got your coffee?
I actually have English breakfast tea. I've been converted post-England. I know.
That's
I
nice.
can't believe it. I know. I was like, you know what? No, I will actually have tea.
Oh, that's beautiful. Right on.
Right?
Well, I have a mushroom elixir.
Oh, as one would.
But it is made out of mushroom powder, so it should be
Love
my
it.
power for the day.
I love it.
And so I recently posted this video in a blog all about codependent relationships and love bombing and the cycles of narcissistic abuse. And so I just like to share and build, with you, Colin, today a little bit about relationships and how to build trust and what trust is. And
I think we can do that. And I really want to validate and kind of salute your work into this field already, because I think that through your sharing of your story, the good, the bad, and the ugly, you're inspiring a lot of people to realize they're not alone too. And that's a really vulnerable act of bravery. So I just want to salute you, honey. You're doing well. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's been quite the roller coaster ride, quite the journey. And I can sincerely say that I feel the most powerful I've ever felt in my life in terms of just owning my power and moving through the world.
Yes.
You are probably the person that I know who is the one Gemini Venus who is the most serious about, and you really take seriously your intimacy and who you share that with. So can you share a little bit about why?
This is just my preference, right? I don't think that this is a one-size-fits-all kind of relationship style, but I really believe that in my experience, the over-casualization of relationship has been very dangerous. So I think that I would like to stay as consciously considered and disciplined and slow-moving and methodical as possible, because when we talk about dating and conversations, it has this really kind of laissez-faire, whatever, I'm just doing this. But at the very root of the conversation, we're talking about another person's life.
Yeah.
And I think we need to remember the seriousness of that. Yeah. Because, if you date somebody, if you say, I'll see you when I see you, or you're sleeping over, or you're doing whatever, you're holding their life close by. So just approach it with reverence.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I examine my dating and my relationship styles all the time. It's don't flake, don't ghost, don't be sloppy, and that's probably Venus in Gemini. I have a natal Mars in Cancer and a Capricorn moon, so it's a combination of those three. But yeah, we're talking about another person's the tenor of their day. Be serious.
Yeah.
Be serious about that, right?
I'm noticing when I'm connecting with people now, I'm basically doing the opposite of what I used to do.
Right.
Fall immediately into deep entanglement just based off of some love bomb or a grand gesture of, I'm so romantic and I'm so old school or whatever it is. I think I'm just going to be part of the trailblazers or just the non-conventional style of relating. It's also because it's I have all of my adult life just serial monogamy back to back to back. And I'm grateful for you helping me reel it in.
And I'm grateful for you for helping me to break it down, right? So that's why the universe has magnetized us as well, because I could stand to learn from your example as well. Because, you can be, I think, overly, as in my experience, emotionally kind of inaccessible and distant. But I think that for your listeners and for your viewers, the most important thing to remember is that we do the most work for relationships often when we are not in them. So when we're in this constant sort of carousel parade of casual to intimate relationship, it's where have you been alone long enough to know who the hell you are in relationship with other people? Right. And there you are less susceptible for the ideological capture of remote romantic and emotional manipulators.
Yes.
Because you've been with yourself long enough to know who the hell you are. Right. So if anybody tried to emotionally manipulate me, I'd be good luck with that. You ain't There is no fucking way on planet Earth that's going to happen, because I have been with myself long enough to know what is and is not okay, what is my truth and what isn't. And you, having just met me, you know, however long ago, has no insight whatsoever. So I think that to dating after codependence might need to be reframed insofar as like being alone after codependence, sitting within your stillness, sitting with that edge, going, "Oh boy, where did I miss the mark here? Where did I get it right?" And then you're just cleaning your inner house. And that's such a sacred and beautiful, necessary ritual before entering any kind of relationship, the traditional, the non-traditional, because then you are able to know exactly who you are, what you're offering, and you won't be so easily taken out of center if somebody tries to project bullshit on you. It just won't happen. It really won't. And staying in that moment of taking your time, because one of the angles we wanted to share was the concept of trust. And that word is often said, but I don't think the understanding and the actual context is understood, right? Like if I said to somebody, "I don't trust you," well, what the hell does that mean?
What does that mean? Right.
Yeah, point to the time where I betrayed your trust. And you better have the vocabulary to say why. Right. And that can only be given and received, trust, over small moments throughout a cumulative extended period of time.
Yes.
So I always see the number 8. I don't know what it is, but for me, I would know whether or not I could be romantically committed to somebody after 8 months. I would never engage in anything binding 8 months before. Never. I just always feel that number of like, yep.
Yeah.
So like really just observe them in those moments of, you know, rising to their occasion and being consistent, being reliable, holding themselves accountable, demonstrating integrity, having non-judgment, and then also not making up stories in their head about you. So let's say you and I are dating and you don't text me for 24 hours. You know, we got a lot of social support to go, "Oh my God, unacceptable. You should tell him or her right now that who do you think you are?" Right? But what happened to generous assumptions? "Oh, you know what? Maybe he's busy. He's with other people. What are you going to do about it?" You know? So all of those things make up the anatomy of trust that Dr. Brene Brown talks about all the time. But yeah, I think we really need to learn how to be alone and how to identify self-trust and interpersonal trust. Because when we were on the phone, we talked about the fact that they are continuations of one another. So only your ability to trust yourself will then allow you to trust other people. And then you can say, okay, this relationship with others, I do have an element of trust too.
Yeah, like 8 months. I think that's a really good way to like really take your time to get to know a person past the honeymoon phase and past the ascendant rising mask facade.
Yes, because then that's really where the finish line for trust is. You know, you don't know these. You can, of course, like make generous assumptions and hope for the best and do all those things prior to that time. But really, when it comes down to it, like you really haven't seen them in their whole full picture yet. So why don't you just take your fucking time? And it's such this like unpopular angle, but I think it's very, very, very necessary. And moving in a pace that feels appropriate for preserving the relationship dynamic too. Like, I think because we approach relationships really unconsciously and through like an anything goes routine, we set ourselves up for a lot of problems down the road because we get physically naked with other people first. That's how we know whether or not we can be vulnerable with them. Why? I don't fucking know, because anybody can get naked with me. I could drop my pants and be like, to anybody. But literally, like I just told you I'm not fucking wearing pants right now. All right? But, sorry. But, you know, if I'm with somebody emotional nudity, a whole nother fucking story. You know, so we're doing it backwards. And this is going to sound really kind of like puritanical and like too traditional, too conservative. But I think there are certain elements of relationship dynamic that are true in relationship to all ages. And I think moving slowly and building psychological and emotional and mental intimacy prior to physical intimacy is a pretty smart way to go, because then physical intimacy becomes a continuation and an extension of the relationship that's already been built.
Yes.
Which is, hello, that's when we were making love with somebody. Listen, you can have casual sex though, don't get me wrong. You don't need to be in love with the person, but like maybe get to know them a little bit and move at your own pace and take your time.
Right.
I don't know. I just think it could really work. And I think like taking our time would really save a lot of relationship problems that we have right now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I almost think that like when you rush into that 0 to 100 relationship and you're on that speeding train, it's almost like the inverse of that high is like what the crash is, because it's like
Ooh.
caution to the wind. You are right. Like I've had to really just embrace and love having my own house and my own space and like being able to be in it and not be like, oh my God, I have to go and make this plan with somebody. And it's
But
definitely,
sure, your emotional exposure is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I think that if we can, of course, find that balance in the middle ground, that's really the space where we'll know the answers to these questions.
mm-hmm.
Because I've told you that, like, I would rather tie 7 cinder blocks to my feet, fling myself into the Hudson River, light myself on fire on the way down, than like be emotionally exposed. The fuck is wrong with me, right? We already know this. So that's why, like, don't get me wrong, that is beautiful, but there is a time and a place for it. And I definitely don't think it's within the first 2 months of meeting somebody.
Absolutely.
I don't. I really don't.
I hear you.
Because then it's like, it's just, you realize that it's meaningful. It's not projection. It's not hot wire intimacy. That's why I get really like, ugh, when people try to cling too quickly. Because it's like, you don't fucking know me. I don't fucking know you.
Right.
And like, what is this void that you want me to fill? Because that's not my responsibility. And then I love that the Course in Miracles does not call it love. It calls that theft.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is. It's, oh, you have something I want. I'm going to take it from you.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell are you giving to me?
Right.
Nothing. Just codependence and anxiety and a whole lot of clinginess. Get the fuck off me. You're strangling me.
Yes.
And that's not, we should have those red alarms. And I'll tell you something. That's usually my biggest one. That's my biggest red alarm of advancing emotional intimacy prior to the chronological appropriateness for that.
Yes. I'm with you on that. I'm with you. And I'm really learning this firsthand just from talking to you and like seeing things from a different perspective.
Or just maybe both, because sure, like I've told you, I have always appreciated the way that you show up in your Venus in the 12th house, gorgeous glory. Like, that's stunningly beautiful. It just needs to be tempered, as does mine.
Yes.
I can, listen, when I settle down with somebody, I will love that motherfucker unconditionally. I will give him everything. I won't stop until I know he's the happiest man on planet Earth.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to get there because I'm so fucking rude to everybody. That's why you and I are coaching each other.
Yeah. It's like the good balance of like the opposite polarities. I mean, I get that I have my Libra South Node gifts of relationships, but they have really truly shown themselves to be my kryptonite. And I don't know.
Your Aries node is like, no, leave me alone.
That's it, yeah.
Don't fucking touch me because I will bust your kneecaps. Do you want your kneecap shattered? Then don't fucking touch me. Okay? You see?
Yeah.
Oh, that's where I go. It's true.
It's
People,
good.
thank you. I try. And I think because one of the angles that we wanted to explore in this video is that idea of discernment and discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I think we do need to have some element of like focal discernment when we are in romantic relationship with other people and just sort of sussing out like, wait a minute, have you earned my story? And we hear this all the time because we're Geminis. How many times do romantic partners try to kind of accelerate and put the pedal to the metal on intimacy by oversharing stories that you don't have the psychological capacity to have earned already?
Yes.
And you're like, whoa.
Let's back the truth trolley up a little bit here.
Exactly. Again, but that's what that is. I want somebody so bad, I'm going to just full speed ahead. And then that's where we make the most mistakes. So just be discerning. When you hear something that you're like, this is only our second date. I don't really know why I'm hearing about his childhood trauma.
Right. Right.
Like that
Or
red
like
flag.
telling me your credit score or how much you paid for
I
your
can't believe that happened. Can
and
you tell me about that?
yeah, I mean, it was just the Pisces. He was just the anxious Pisces who found me on MySpace and the first phone conversation. I did think it was really weird too. I was like, why are you telling me? I don't need to know your credit score right now.
No,
You know,
no.
but those are just signs of people who do not come and approach things from the heart and who they are. And they're just relying on external things as validation for why
Yes.
it's worthy to be dated. And it's like, nobody needs to know that. Like, we should all
No.
look at each other as like layers to be peeled back over
Yeah.
time. And,
Over.
you know, like, I don't think that I will ever have a full grasp on myself. So if I have a partner who thinks they have me figured out, you know, there's nowhere to really go from there.
Now that's a good aha moment too. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That we all need to remember as well. And if you think you have it all figured out, then I know you don't.
Right.
Yeah, because we just admitted in the beginning that we don't. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I need to incorporate more from your school of wisdom, okay, vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we know I actually don't have a really tight grip on this, but I'm doing my best. And I love that you said that. No, it's very true. That's a really, really, really good point. And I think when others know that too, like when there's that element of like certainty and dogmatism in dating, then you know, and this is another thing to be discerning of, oh, this person can't handle uncertainty.
Mm. Hmm. But what
And
in life
every
is certain?
exactly, right? And what is that like grasping really about? It's because you are afraid of being alone, so you're going to grasp at the first fucking thing, because
Yeah.
then you will believe that I'm certainly never going to leave you.
Right.
I can marry you tomorrow and divorce you a week later. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
New York noise pollution. I'm sorry if you can hear it. But yeah, it's like, you know what? That's what we should be discerning of. And I think we should actually appreciate when someone approaches us like with a slow moving, very methodical, well, I'm comfortable to see however this goes, and we'll discuss every step of the way.
Yeah.
That's attractive to me. I'm like,
Yes.
that's a man who's done his work, when
Yeah.
he is really okay with no matter what happens, and understanding that relationships are going to take vulnerability, they're going to take exposure, they're going to take risk. Some days we'll get it right, some days we'll get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you know that like we're going to try our best and do our best, and therefore not take a whole lot personally,
Yeah.
then that's a very mature, disciplined, and discerning container to have in relationships.
Yes. Yeah, we don't want to be operating on deficiencies and trying to fill voids in other people at all. And I
No.
definitely think that boundaries are so sexy. Like,
Yes.
that I can see like what a boundary enforced looks like, and like the power and like the clarity in that.
Ooh.
Oh man.
Let's do, I think what we should do is do a little like a workshop where we have to declare a boundary immediately with each other. You ready?
Okay.
Do you want to be the boundary declarer, or do you want to be the person who is disrespecting my boundaries?
Let me be the person who's disrespecting your boundary.
Oh shit, okay.
I mean, because you're naturally good at the boundaries anyway, so I have to learn.
For the record, though, it was something I had to learn. I am definitely a recovering people pleaser. None of this came easy to me. I had to learn it. I had to research. I had to understand. I needed to see it in action. Okay. But all of that to say that whoever's watching, you can learn too. Nobody learned how to declare boundaries in elementary school, and I'm sure our parents didn't necessarily do the best job showing us how. Right. So anyway, okay, Shar, disrespect my boundaries, bitch.
Ring, ring, ring.
Hello. Hey, what's up?
Hey, Colin. So, blah. She, girlfriend, drama, blah, blah, blah. Oh, husband, man, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I guess I'll probably talk to you later.
Hold on. Two things. Number one, I'm a little uncomfortable with the amount of intel that you just disclosed to me, because I don't really feel like I have the emotional fortitude to show up for you right now, because I just met you. So you might want to call somebody who you feel like you have a stronger pre-existing relationship with, because I don't have the capabilities to help you. That's number one. Number two, I don't really think you should or hear from me later, because this lets me know we have a fundamentally incompatible value system. And I think it would be best if we recognize that we're not dancing the same dance.
Ooh.
So best of luck to you.
I really love your dancing the same dance analogy.
Because it's like nobody has a monopoly on dance style. So it's like, you know, you do what you got to do. But rest assured, like, we are not doing the dance together. Okay, now, Shar, I'm going to do it to you. Let's see how you could do it, okay? You ready?
I guess so, okay.
Okay, you could do it. You ready?
Okay.
Ring, 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 ring. Answer.
What I say.
Hey, girl, what's going on?
Hi, Daddy.
Listen, I know that you have to pick up 11 tonight, and that, you know, family's coming over and you have a lot going on, but I just haven't heard from you in 3 days, and I really fucking miss you. And I was just like really hoping that, like, you know, I could come over tonight and like we can get dinner or something, like, you know, just the two of us, like go back to the way things used to be.
Really sorry that you feel neglected, but I'm not going to ever be the one who can be at your beck and call at every hour. I will be in tune with you and I will let you know when I am available. But what is not going to work is you calling and attempting to make me feel bad for having a life that does not totally include you. And when I am sharing my life with you, it is because I want to, and I would like to do it as much as possible. But guilt tripping me or trying to make me feel bad or pressuring me into spending time with you is really not going to make me want to do it.
What do you mean? I haven't done that. I was just sharing my truth. Don't police my feelings.
Ultimately, I'm not here to fill your emotional voids. Like, don't you have friends or somebody else that you can hang out with?
No, I don't. I told you, you're the only one I love so much. Like, I don't want to be with anybody else other than you. Why don't you get it?
I get it. I understand the fact that you feel like I don't have enough time with you, but I just have my priorities, and my daughter is my priority. So don't take it personal. It's nothing personal.
Okay, well, thanks. Click. Because that's how they're on to the next by then.
Yeah.
It's because it ain't about you.
So how did I do? Because I feel like I did a lot more explaining, and you were just like, shut down. And I'm like,
you know what? You said it, not me. But yes, I'm not a boundaries expert, but as your friend and spiritual companion.
You are a boundaries expert.
And for the record, my dad's in the military too, so that certainly gave me a little bit of a head start. But I would probably say that, yes, you do not need to justify or explain. And you could just say very firmly, I will not negate my plans with my daughter. Don't take it personally. Your rationale is sick, and that's it. And because what I appreciated, though, is that you went into, like, I understand. Right? But we have to be careful with that, because what you're understanding is neurosis and personality defects. Yeah. So if you meet them in that trash, you're going to smell like trash.
Oof. Yeah.
So let them just throw it at you and be like, well, I completely disagree. I think it's actually sick that you think I'm the only one who can give you all elements of happiness, right? Because, you know, just a little bit of pressure. So no, the answer is no. And no is a complete sentence. And if you make me justify my reasoning, we have a big fucking problem.
Right.
And with boundaries too, like we did it with role play in terms of, oh my God, emergency 911 in the moment. Yeah. But what your viewers need to know is that without a sense of declaring boundaries proactively over moments of time, then this de facto social code gets established, and then you become a person who has never declared a boundary, and that's exactly why you're a prime target for these psychologically dysfunctional people to manipulate. So with little things, you know, you can declare boundaries. Like I explained to you, certain situations where when men have tried to talk to me and they're using like terms of endearment or like, can I see you every week? I'm like, no. And I'm not your baby. I'm Colin. And let's just formulate that. And even just something as simple as like a term of endearment, you can declare a boundary. And then that person knows, wow, like he's not one to fuck with. You damn fucking right I'm not. And then if I'm going to set up a precedent where, no, you will not see me every week. You might not even see me once a month.
Right.
Those are ways that we can declare them proactively to go, I do not control this person.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
And with Brené's research, what she says very clearly is her boundaries question is BIG. So what the hell does that mean? What boundaries need to be in place for me to stay in my integrity, and make the most generous assumptions about you, BIG, right? So you do it quickly. And therefore, when you feel uncomfortable, you can literally say something as simple as like, you know what? I don't really know what the best decision is right now, but I'm feeling uncomfortable and I'm going to need to process this and let you know where I'm at later. The minute you feel discomfort, it's time to declare a boundary. So you got to go, where is this coming from? Is this coming from my need to protect and sustain my family relationship? Or is this coming from the fact that actually, wait, this person's triggering me because I am a little controlling and inaccessible. So disseminate, right? Because my boyfriend is going to make me uncomfortable because he's like, bitch, drop and give me 20, Colin. Don't be sloppy. Don't be lazy. So that's different.
Yeah.
But then you make sense of the boundary with the I, which is the integrity, which is what are your values? My value in relationship is I would like to be with a partner who inspires me to grow, and I'm not going to grow through joy. I'm probably going to learn through discomfort and pain. So if he's okay with that and allows me to just like maybe throw a temper tantrum, but come right back to him, we're good. So that's the integrity, right? Like these are my values. I want to be in a relationship where we move forward and excel together.
Yes.
And that's practiced. And then with generous assumptions, it's, okay, you might have said this thing or did this thing because you know what, with me, I'm really big on punctuality and time management. I don't know why, but it's just one of those things that make me feel really safe, right? So let's say my partner shows up late to things. Whoa! Old Colin would have been off to the fucking races. Just, who do you think? I lose it. I don't know why. It's just like being on time, right? But the generous assumption is, you know what? He was held up at work. The subways were delayed. I get it. You know what? I'm not going to take it personally. And when I know that I'm seeing with him, I'll probably just bring a book because I'll probably be waiting for him and I can get some more done. But I will say to him, just so you know, like time management is really crucial to me. I understand you got a lot going on, but if we can figure out a way to make this work, i.e. insofar as like maybe just add a half an hour or 45 minutes to how much time you think it will take because you are underestimating your time, that would make me happy. I don't care when I see you. I just need to see you when you say you're going to see me.
Yes.
BIG.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's too much to ask at all. I think that really
most of our boundaries really aren't that too much to ask.
Yeah.
We just got to be careful. Like, are we camouflaging boundary to be like, well, you need to text me every day because I really need to hear from you. That's my boundary. That's where, right. So talk to me about that, because I'm sure in the ugliest of intentions, these people have camouflaged spirituality with it and just been like, but I don't understand, blah, blah, blah. So talk to me about that.
I love that you said in the ugliest of intentions.
It's true, because you know what? Intentions aren't inherently good.
It's true.
Serial killers have intention. The fucking corporate takeover of America, those bankers knew exactly what they were doing. So we got to be careful with that word.
How could that even be a boundary? Because it's like almost like requiring somebody else to do something for you. So in therapy, and the only way that I can feel safe is if we talk on the phone for an hour a day and then like text like 500 times.
Ugh. Wait, may I ask, did that actually happen? Did those words fall out of somebody's mouth?
Yeah, so not 500 times in terms of texting, but that is basically what the request was. And I guess
in front of a professional mental health facilitator? And the person said what?
And it always ended up coming back to like me having to validate emotions. And I think I really struggled with that because while I understand the value in validating and hearing emotions and reflecting what somebody is expressing back to them so they know that you're getting the message. It's like, it was just hard for me to co-sign on delusions, I guess.
Shar, I am 100% with you because that's patently absurd.
Yeah.
Like, just because you have an emotion, like, I have to validate it. Like,
Right.
listen, I have a lot of fears that are fucking insane.
Right.
And someone validating it doesn't mean in and of itself absolutely anything.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like pretty gaslit. I've been gaslit to the top of the mountain. So
Yeah.
those are just weird examples like that. But yeah, I think boundaries, it definitely pertains back to like how you feel. So any kind of discomfort, then,
Yeah.
something coming up. And I think it is really important. Like when you just say that, then the other person has the opportunity to be like, okay, well, I can take this or I won't take it. And so
Right.
what I
Right.
know I should have done is, in the past been like, look, this is all that I can do. This is all I can give you. This is
Right.
that. But instead, I would be like, okay, well, let me try, or let me accommodate, or
Right.
let me squeeze,
Right.
shift and change. And then you recognize that you're the only one like trying to jump through hoops to like make things happen.
Because they're
So,
stealing from you. It's not about
mhm.
your worth. And that's it. Okay, so and the essence of validating emotion, this is interesting. So when I get nutty and I'm hijacked by, some element of emotion that is an interpersonal focus, I
Mhm.
don't need to be validated. I need to have a curiosity about that emotion.
Mm.
That's the way I look at it.
Good.
So let's say, my man did something that made me feel insecure or whatever. He gave me like a weird tone about something, right? I don't need him to validate my feelings of discomfort. What I need to do is say, hey, listen, honey, I don't want to make any assumptions. And the story I'm making up in my head is that you said X, Y, and Z because of one, two, three. Is there something we need to clean up? Because
Mhm.
I don't know what's happening.
Mm.
I think we should go into a space of uncertainty, not validation when we're hijacked by that,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Because so what? So I'm angry and like, so I'm going to just fly off the handle? Like,
Right.
what if I yelled at him because he was late?
Right.
And then come to find out that there was like an emergency in his family. What kind of a douchebag would I look like? A grade
Mhm.
A one. So
Right.
it's like, when you're in those spaces, ask questions.
Yeah.
I just said this with Ophi on our live. It's like, it's unbelievable how completely neglectful people are at the art of curious communication,
Yes.
not knowing how to ask and position certain questions. Like,
Mhm.
hey, I heard you on Friday say that like you really wanted to go on the date, but like then you confirmed to something else. Like, is everything okay? Like, I just want to know. And he could be like, oh, I totally forgot. I'm sorry. I never. But then you know what I would do is make up a conspiracy in my head and go, oh no, he doesn't
Mhm.
want to be with me. And that's what we're doing all the time because
Yeah.
we don't know how to fact check our own emotionality. And
Yeah.
then we don't have the spine to ask other people in that moment, hey, the way you said this made me think that. Am I
Right.
onto something or no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry,
I
I'm
mean,
going off the warpath.
that's a mature way of like handling any situation by
Yes,
like speaking on it. And then you can
yes,
make it clear and then there's not like mind reading happening and
exactly. And this is all aligned with boundaries because
Mhm.
it's a process that needs to be delicately handled all of the time.
All of the
So
time.
you have to practice this all the time. I mean, you could be in a relationship with somebody for 35 years and you're going to have to declare boundaries with them regularly.
Yes.
And it doesn't negate how deeply you love and care for one another. It
Mhm.
protects it
Right.
because then they'll cross it. They don't know they're crossing it. And you're
Right.
setting yourself up to be in silent resentment and they're
Right.
going to feel it. How the hell does that strengthen a relationship?
Right.
It doesn't.
Right.
So we need to be really vigilant and really proactive and on top of this at all times
Mm-hmm.
because the bottom line, and you know this from our research and just being in the community, relationships are the beginning and the middle and the end of where we find our life's meaning.
Yes.
So this is the very last place we should be unconscious. This
Right.
is the very last
It's
place we
the
should be
most important
undisciplined
place.
or your life will collapse.
Hmm. I think we all really transform through connecting with others because it's like you kind of have to have a contrast or another
Yeah,
counterpart to like see how you interface with that type of energy.
you do. You need it. Or Or it just completely crumbles. I mean, I love how the seventh house in astrology was referred to as the container of the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what does that container, is that just something that the universe gives you? No.
Right.
It's something that you have to negotiate with your partner at all times
Mm-hmm.
so that it can preserve and protect and hold all of that. Because sure, you're amazing at like that spontaneous enlightenment experience of falling in love. You lean into it, you're totally there, you're like, wow, this is beautiful, I'm going to experience this, right? And then when the rubber meets the road, all hell breaks loose.
Mm-hmm.
When I get hit by that spontaneous enlightenment experience, I go into my personal racket and I just go right, like shut down, I don't want to be around this, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting how all of these things like are together, but that's where the container needs to get built, because that container holds that beauty, that love, that light that you understand.
Mm-hmm.
And then the container is that delicate trust boundary. This is okay, this is not okay, integrity, reliability, and consistency to hold all of that love and light together.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
It's hard. This is the life's work, and we'll never finish. We'll never feel like we got it on lockdown, which is why the universe brings us people who, trigger us in those places, or, help me understand, Colin, like, if he's late, he's late. He's not the Grinch who stole Christmas, you son of a bitch. Like,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. I like it. I really like the concept and the importance for me where my friendships really set the standard for anybody else that I will allow in my life, or like in the closer inner rings of my circles. And I always say, like, if people don't make me feel the way Colin makes me feel, or the way Monique makes me feel, or like Rachel or Gabrielle, like, that is really my standard. And I really do feel like friendship is the highest form. It can really be the highest form of love.
I know.
For me, I would never like rank one person over another, say that I love, my daughter more than my parent, or, one friend more than another friend, or a lover more than I see the value in every relationship, and it's just like differences of degrees.
Yes.
Then I love you the most, and then I love you like second best. Like, it doesn't have to be like that.
It doesn't. And that's probably, from your experience, one of the easiest tricks that these manipulators play with you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And if anybody's listening to that, if your partner is doing that, hello, like, let the red alarm fall.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big moment of holy shit, like, this ain't cute.
Yeah.
Because then, like we always discuss, that is in direct repudiation to the spiritual concept of our oneness. We already are one. We already are one another. Yeah. So anytime you see yourself as separate, categorized, and complex, you're not with the cosmically ordered, infinitely powerful universe. Therefore, why are you even bothering with me right now?
Right.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
You haven't done your work, and I don't want to be around this.
Yeah. Like, anybody who thinks like that is sincerely just disconnected from themselves.
And profoundly insecure.
Yeah.
And I think as Saturn and Capricorn grows, like, we all have our insecurities. We all, like, we discuss all the time. But I think we really need to stop protecting them and just stop coddling them, like we've always said, and just, like, really snap the fuck out of it and get over it.
Yes.
Because we don't have time for this anymore. And, like, it's funny, I don't know how this happened, but I feel like we get so much social permission to be insecure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm at a point in my life where it's like, first of all, you're going to walk into a room and I'm going to know you have a black hole inside you. Mm-hmm. So you ain't fooling me or anybody else, number fucking one.
Right.
Number fucking two, like, that lets me know you have not quite yet taken radical responsibility for your life. So you have no business being around me or my friends, because you are a direct threat to us now.
Yeah.
Because we feel the daggers, we feel the hooks, we feel the...
Yes.
We do.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? Now I know you're not invited to the next party. I ain't going to fucking talk to you. I'm not even going to be around you. And I think maybe if we understood insecurity with that level of, like, profound urgency, that's a serious problem that needs to be cleaned, we could do a lot of work while Saturn is in Capricorn. Because I don't really think we understand how bad it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Absolutely. I think a lot of our shadow aspects are just like really coming to the forefront. And, you know, I know we've spoken a bit about how it just seems like our thoughts and the manifestation time, there's a very short delay between thinking something and it happening or occurring in your sphere. And
100%.
it's so important to be just emotionally sound. And like, I can really like palpably feel those moments in my life where I just have been very disconnected from my grounding and centered and just derailed, you know, in many different ways. And it always comes back down to just like perspective and mind and how you are judging and analyzing circumstances. But we can all take the responsibility to like shift how we perceive things and not just allow anything into our circles that's going to be here to destroy us.
I love that. So then in the concepts of perception, let's play vocabulary. All right, Gemini?
Yeah.
So how would you personally define disciple?
A student, like devoted to something, dedicated to a certain standard of operating?
Correct. Like, because it's not all about them.
And
so they're committed.
So what would you call a disciple?
Same thing, and this relates to relationship because again, the success of your relationship requires of what are you a disciple of, really? Because the reason why so many people don't have their relationship working is because they're unconscious about the resources and the solutions that are available to them to make sense of it and to do better.
Yeah.
So for me, being a disciple, and we all are in our own way, whether it's of the light or the dark, really, is just making sure that I am following a set of higher wisdom and higher understanding that then makes a jump from intellectual understanding to my experience.
Yes.
You know, do I see its efficacy? And the answer is always yes.
Yeah.
So how do you define discipline?
I mean, well, discipline is like, you kind of have receipts, like you've been doing and you actually have, like, you could see the fruits of the spirit and the actual results in the daily life. Having the wherewithal to consistently do something over time to strengthen that muscle or just to fortify it. And
yes.
Yeah.
I love that. I like that you mentioned it's doing something consistently over time that promotes what, you know, your well-being. I remember, I think my grandmother said it's the refusal of immediate gratification for long-term personal gain. And I like that. I really like that.
Ooh, I like that.
I know Grandma Steno, and you remember that, Virgo. I don't know what I'm
Oh
gonna
my
do.
gosh, she's everything, all of the things.
She is. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
I love it.
What about discernment? How would you define discernment?
And discernment is being clear on seeing something for what it is. Being clear on seeing something for what it is.
Yes. Oh, you know, I love that because when I said the order of disciple, discipline, and discernment, I was like, I don't know if that was the right one. But I think it is based on your answer. So stay with me here.
Okay.
First, we need to figure out, what are we disciples of? Are we disciples of the disaster or the miracle? Which one is it? Right. Because like the Course in Miracles says, faith is an aspect of consciousness.
Yes.
You either have faith in, you know, this fucking system to implode, or you have faith in otherworldly miraculous principles. So what are you a disciple of when it comes to romantic relationship? Are you going to really figure out what are the resources and the lessons and the wisdom there for you to study and to passionately focus to so that you can apply them when the rubber meets the road? Hello, right? And then when you are disciplined, that's when it happens, because it is not easy immediately to get over your resistance to doing things differently. Because you're right, like, it's really fun to meet somebody and just like kiss them in the rain, or just, you know, be real casual and just like run off and like have a great fucking time. It's really fun and like it's great and it's explosive and it's like like dramatic, right? But like where do we get? Not really. We're not happy about it. So when we're disciplined, it's like, no, I'm committed to doing things differently and I'm going to apply my understanding to these experiences and get over my resistance to doing things differently.
Yes.
And through that, do you discern with whom, where, when, and why your love is safe?
Yes.
So that order is very chronological. So those are really the 3 steps I would say to anybody who's watching this who has a history of codependence. Like, become a disciple, get really disciplined, and start discerning.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You're 100% right.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, because at first I was like, I don't know if that's the right, but then I started to get it. I was like, wait a minute, this seems sequential here. Okay, Geminis.
No, it's good stuff. It's really good stuff.
So then with that 3-step kind of program that we just invented, what are you a disciple of?
Shit, I'm probably going to say the wrong answers. Okay.
No, there's no wrong answer. Go ahead, honey.
All right, so I'm a disciple. I think
of birdcage veils and collarbones.
I'm a disciple of myself and sitting with myself and studying myself and being dedicated to really focusing on what I want to do and just be like as selfish as I possibly can at this moment.
Okay, Aries North Node. And how do you stay disciplined?
I have to stay disciplined by tempering myself, and if I find myself moving back into codependent tendencies, then I will sit with those feelings, refer to the text, read a passage, do some meditation, breathe, keep it to myself, journal, or talk to a friend, somebody that got the emotional trust who I can tell things to and maybe like process it through with them. But, I usually try to kind of like sit with it now. So
I love it. And how do you stay discerning? How do you know that you're being discerning?
Anything that I'm engaging with needs to feel like it, like I need to feel it in my like gut, like in my solar plexus, in my sacral center, and just kind of really trust my feelings instead of feeling something and then doing the opposite for fear of how it's going to be perceived.
100%. Perfect.
I don't know. I mean, I think I'm just like really in a space where I'm enjoying like focusing on myself and, working my spiritual musculature, and because I've seen just how much, you can crumble and burn your life down by throwing caution to the wind and getting caught up in the whirlwinds. And it's like there's so much talk about twin flames and everybody's trying to find their twin flame, and this person, this special person. And like, I just think that's it's like so much pressure. It's so much pressure. I know I don't want to feel that pressure myself.
And it's also very distracting. It's very like, isn't it convenient that you get to suddenly wait and long for a person who may or may not arrive while your whole life is in flames and you're not taking any kind of righteous responsibility for all the things that you need to do because you're too busy waiting for somebody to get here. And then it's funny because it's like, so wait a minute. When the perfect person arrives, like, hello, is he looking for you? What the hell have you done lately?
Right.
Get to work.
Sitting around just like waiting.
Eating bonbons? Yeah, exactly. Wow. He can't wait to knock on your door. Bitch, get to work. Right. Seriously. Like, I'm sorry. I'm so mean.
No, it's real.
Oh, God, I'm so mean. No, I'm embracing it, though. Thank you.
It's good.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, so I think that pretty much is our 3-step system. And I think I'll just answer quickly.
Yes.
My name is Colin, and I am a disciple of Universal Spiritual Themes present in A Course in Miracles and Hellenistic Astrology. So the choir of those two is what I am a disciple of. The way that I stay disciplined is through doing the workbook first thing in the morning and meditating on it for 5 minutes a day, every single day, and learning how to maintain a very strong element of emotional, psychological, and spiritual impulse control. And then I know that my discernment is working when I check in with my conscience, and I will sit for a little while because the ego speaks first and speaks the loudest. So I have to kind of silence him a little bit and then listen to the small, still voice within.
Yes.
And I will know that I've made the right choice if upon acting of that space, my experience is of peace.
Oh my God.
And it very well may be having told somebody, with all due respect, you crossed the line, so we have no reason to ever socially communicate ever again. Okay? And I will know that I have made a decision of fear and incorrect lovelessness if I am in pain.
Mm.
It's really that simple. You know, I'm sure because people will ask you all the time, like, how will I know if I'm doing the right thing? I'll tell you how. Just look, open your eyes, okay? Look at your life, look at your experience.
Yeah.
And if your relationships suck and your life is up in flames, you probably made the wrong fucking choice.
Right.
But if rather, you know, things are working out real well, you're not constantly taken out of your peace of mind, congratulations. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You know what song is stuck in my head right now?
What?
How will I know if he's thinking of me? I say a prayer with every heartbeat.
I know. Well,
Whitney.
I'm just thinking about how much of a better person you are than me, because it's like,
Get out of here.
I was fucking disciplined or a disciple of it. I'm like, I'm a disciple of myself.
Honey, you're an Aries North Node. You're an Aries North Node. I really believe that this step that you're taking, because I feel, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like a relatively recent hatching.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, hi, you're getting reacquainted with yourself. So, I'm on board with that. I would have said, oh, honey, a little self-preoccupied. But no, I think this is where you need to go, because that's what codependence is, that avoidance of.
Yeah.
So, like, get to work, get to know who the hell you are, and own it.
Yeah. That's it. That's all. It's cool.
You're good, baby. No one's better or less, because like I've told you, I am an ice king. So, you know, woo! I'm working on it.
I know. I don't know. I like the balance, actually. I think
It's true. You know what? Just because we're sharing, we might as well. After I did the video with the astrotwins on the eclipses, right?
Mm-hmm.
I watched a little bit of it, and I was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, you are such a fucking dickhead, Colin.
Oh,
like,
the one with Opie the other day?
Yes, I'm like, you're so mean. Jesus, right? And then I apologized profusely. I was like, I really hope I didn't, like, you know, offend anybody or, like, lose readership. I was like, I don't know what I just did. I went into Capricorn mood, like, And then Opie was like, Colin, it's like, you know, it's attention and it's entertaining. And, like, we have that contrast and it works. So it's like, don't apologize. And I was just like.
Yeah, there's nothing to apologize. I was just telling you that I really love your delivery, because it's just, this is what it is, and it helps people to feel safe because there is a solid container, because you have defined it very clearly.
Yes.
So
Thanks, honey.
I think people love and adore you for that.
So. I just got to embrace it. I know. I'm the bad cop, as we realized in our recent opportunity. And I'm gonna start embracing as much as I can. And you are really helping me, you know, warm up a little bit, and, you know, don't come in like, you know. No, when you said Colin with that Kill Bill slay on the comments, I was like, oh my God, he knows me so well.
But it's necessary. It is necessary. We do need the Saturnian function in our lives. So,
because, you know, and then I swear I'll stop talking. But it was funny when this comment was like, because it was about Leo, and she goes, well, like, it's just, how do you not stay exhausted? Because I just feel like I give so much, I know. And how do you stay like in that space? Like, cause I just feel like I'm constantly lifting up other people. And Ophi and I both went into bad cop mode.
Right. Yes. You're like, well, stop giving. Like, why are you giving? Are you giving with the intention of getting something back? Like, are you
Exactly. And I was just like, no, because honestly, the Course in Miracles says we have giving and receiving completely upside down. When you give, you receive. Like, why do you think Oprah's so successful?
Exactly.
All she does is give shit away.
Right. Yes.
Hello, lifts it up to the highest. And yeah, it was just so funny. That's when I was just like, no, check your intentions, bitch. Are you just doing it because, oh my God, you were chosen to be a healer?
Right.
Like, you're the only one.
Right.
Like, a teacher isn't a healer, a writer, an artist.
All of us.
All of us.
Because we're all in states of like needing healing, like, you know, regularly, and like through working with other people, it's like we're working through our own
yes.
shit, so.
Yes. So get over yourself. Not you though, because you have to reintroduce yourself to yourself.
Yes.
A lot of other people need to get over themselves.
Yes,
so I hope that was helpful for your viewers, and yeah, I wish them love and a lot of outcomes and high-minded outcomes and romantic experiences.
Yeah.
And yeah, because heaven is entered 2 by 2. And I think we can do that really well if we're really disciplined and focusing on ways to think and act with love entirely.
Yes. I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. I love you. And I'm glad you went out and like did you, girl. That's what you need to be doing. Just do you. Fuck everybody right now, you know? And you know I don't say that a lot, but like seriously, you have the universe's permission right now, so take it. Take that permission slip, run with it.
Yeah, it was really fun. I just had like everybody in the whole place like under a spell. It was
Ooh!
Fun.
Yeah, hello. When you walked into the fucking keynote speech, it was just like literally, I almost want to say like in my head, like these doormen were suddenly there because they wanted to open the door for you only, right? So they like opened the door and they're like tuxedos, right? You walked in just and then it was it just exploded. I was like, who the hell is this bitch?
Oh my God.
I was like,
I can only imagine what that actually looks like.
That's exactly what it looked like. Like somebody was opening the door for the Queen of fucking Norwalk 2016, and I was like, oh Jesus, should I sit up straight? Like, who just walked in? Right? Like, and then you like glided in, and I was like, you know what? All right, I'm not mad at you. It's clearly your world. I'm just living in it. So I loved it. So keep it up, baby. Make me proud, okay?
Yes, darling. Thank you.
Yes. I love you, and I'll be in touch.
All right, I love you too. But yes, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And don't forget queercosmos.com is where you can find him, as well as cosmopolitan.com and astrology.com, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Is it? You're gonna edit this, right? So it's not like us keeping the whole time.
All right. Well, I feel like a fucking crazy woman. Like seriously.
Why?
Because I've been awake all night.
Oh my God, you poor thing. I went to bed at 9:30, so we're on opposite schedules, even though we're astro twins. Holy shit.
Okay, so when I look like this, does it look like I'm looking at...
I just love that you've been awake all night and she puts on a birdcage veil.
I almost have to, because I think if I don't, like, I just look really...
Char, I would never have known that you've been up all night. Swear to God. And you know I tell you, be like, girl, you look tired. Let's do this tomorrow. It's at 11:11 Eastern Standard Time.
111.